Good morning, students. In this video, we are going to discuss about the post sequence and the error messages. So, when the system is powered on, the computer automatically performs the series of tests. It checks various components in the system such as CPU, ROM, and motherboard, support circuitry, memory, and major other peripherals. So, when it provides error or warning messages whenever a faulty component is encountered. Uh, so the warning messages are audio error codes and the display screen message or codes. So let us discuss about the post sequences and the error messages. So the test sequence before that post means power on self test sequence. The test of sequence of the test sequences are 12 test sequences. Each test will perform some check some hardware or the components and the internal circuits. So let us discuss about the test one by one. The first test is CPU test. In the CPU test, whether the internal interrupts are masked off and the internal flags are tested and the internal registers are tested. And then next test is bias ROM checksum test. In this checksum test, it performs on the entire bias ROM and the least significant byte of the resultant checksum should be 0. And then next test is timer 1 test. 8253 timer is programmed for mode 2 operation and it checks the basic access count and check for the count interval. And the next one is DMA controller test. In this DMA controller test, the DMA channel address register and the register for all other channels are tested and the DMA channel 0 will be initialized, timer 1 will be initialized, and then memory refresh cycle will be starts. And then next test is 16 KB DRAM test. Different 5 test patterns AA, 55, FF, 01, 00 are written and read back to the memory. And the next test is interrupt controller initialization. It sends to initialize the interrupts mode and set up the interrupt vectors in memory. And then next test is interrupt controller test. If previous test interrupt controller initialization, this will be a interrupt controller test, setting and resetting the interrupt mask register. And then next is this is the 8th test sequence, timer 0 initialization. It initializes the timer 0 to operate in mode 3 and check timer 0 for correct rate. And then 9th one is CRT controller test. Initialize the CRT controller, test the video RAM and checks for any parity error and set up the video mode by reading configuration and it verifies the timing of video and sync signals. And then 10th one is DRAM 16 KB test. So different 5 test patterns are written and read back. If test fails, post displays the failing address and data on the screen. So previously we checked the DRAM 16 KB DRAM test. After that, this is the DRAM after 16 KB test. So if any failures, it displays the data on the failing address on the data screen. And the next 11th one, there is a keyboard test. Checks the keyboard by issuing a keyboard reset. Checks for any stuck keys. If the key, any of the key is faulty or any of the key is missing, and is used in the keyboard, that will be checked in this keyboard test. And then last one is disk drive test. Disk drive test, that will be checks if any diskette adapter card and a disk drive are present. Post will load the operating system from the disk. Last, finally, it loads the operating system from the disk. These are the 12 tests, which are CPU test, BIOS ROM checksum test, timer 1 test, DMA controller test, 16 KB DRAM test, interrupt controller initialization test, interrupt controller test, timer 0 initialization, CRT controller test, DMA after 16 KB test, keyboard test, disk drive test. This 12 test sequence will be performed in the post sequence. And then if any of the fault is found out, it displays the error message by the audio codes and the error codes on display screen. So error messages that will be displayed by audio codes and the error codes. Post error codes, usually the audio codes consisting of various variations of beep that to identify the faulty component. When the system is started up, if your problem is detected, if the problem is detected, different series of audio codes are sounded. So let us discuss what type of audio codes and what it resembles that. So no beep means it is the power supply error, and continuous beep, that is also related to the power supply. Repeating short beeps, that is the power supply. One long beep and one short beep, that will be a motherboard fault. One long beep and two short beep, that is video adapter test. Video adapter card will be failure. One short beep and a bad or no display, that means video cable or and display cable will be a faulty. And one short beep and no beat boot, disk cable adapter or disk will be a faulty one. So these are the audio codes. It resembles the fault domains and the probable fault domains. And the next one is error codes. Error codes and on display screen. So what type of error codes will be displayed? The post displays a system error code which identifies the failing unit in the hardware. These codes are generally represented in the device number followed by two digits other than 00. The device number plus 00 indicates the successful completion of the test. So these are all the visual error codes. 1XX, that means system board error. 101, that means in the system board error interrupt is failure. 102, that will be a timer failure. For the 201, memory test will be failure. That will be represented in the hexadecimal number. Error location will be represented in the hexadecimal number. And then 301, it resembles the keyboard errors. Either the software reset or stuck key failure will be detected. The scan code for the key is displayed in the hexadecimal. 601, the 6x, 6 series. The floppy drive adapter or the CD drive adapter post failure. 17XX, 17XX. Fixed disk errors, fixed disk post error, and then 18 series, that will be IO expansion unit errors, and then IO expansion unit post error. So the in this video we discussed the post sequences and the error messages. The post sequences, 12 test sequences will be performed, and if any of the faulty, the error messages will be audio code or the error codes will be displayed on the screen. Okay, thank you.